face making heroes, while Bulldog is playing those carries.
Okay. We saw a lot of the Bulldog bat that time.
I don't know. They tried to do that though in the first game with Loda on the Anti-Mage. They went the Vanguard first build and just weren't quite able to get enough out of that in the early engagements. Loda was ahead in that game, but when you go that Vanguard build, I feel like you got to play like AUI 2000 does, like Ramsey does, where you max the spell break and you really try to leverage that in early engagements. And they weren't quite able to get enough resources out of that early Vanguard on the AM. They did try to have him be a little bit more active. It just didn't work out.
It ended up being like we were kind of saying, it was like Loda ended up looking like he's running around 1 versus 5 because he's super farmed, but you have a Dragon Knight who, sure, he can do a lot of utility and stuff, but he wasn't like that immensely farmed where he could be like a carry. It's not like you have a Daedalus on a Dragon Knight or something.
That's been my biggest concern though with Alliance in general, is that they're asking S4 to do so much because they have their other 2 cores are super greedy.
And then you have EGM.
And exactly, after the Chen nerf especially, they're not able to control tempo as effectively with the 2 supports. So S4 is asked to do a lot in terms of control.
Okay, draft is up and running, 3 bans in. Make that 4 with the Invoker ban. And again, nothing crazy. I mean, the Invoker is slightly different, but it's not unexpected, I don't think. Beastmaster, Bounty, IO, we've seen these kind of bans all the way through, both here and in Dream League and in Russia. It's becoming fairly stable now as to what we're seeing.
Yeah, very team-specific ban, though, coming after the Invoker, of course. Like, we know VG.R loves to play. We know Nono is one of his favorite heroes.
See the same thing versus, I think, OG with Miracle, and we might start seeing it pretty soon versus maybe with the way he's playing.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
He played unbelievably well, honestly.
Okay, so the Ban Rider is it's like a block pick as well, I guess. We've seen the Alliance been pretty useful with the Bat Rider.
Yeah, it's not really a go-to hero by any means for VG.R coming in this event. They've run it twice in the last 10 games, and one of them they just lost in the 2-0 earlier. So it does feel like there is an element of a block pick to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the reverse with when you talk about Alliance with the Bat Rider. It's a little bit of a reverse where they're a little bit more likely to run it mid, right? Because Bulldog's Bat Rider not necessarily his best hero. VG.R, I'm going to be interested to see whether they put that hero mid or in the offlane role. I definitely would prefer Yang Bat Rider to Nono.
Yeah, let's see. The last time they ran it, it was the Yang.
It was Yang. Yeah.
So.
10 seconds remaining.
I think he's just.
I really, by the way, I like the Disruptor first phase here. Just go ahead and get your, you're talking about choosing between your Vengeful Spirit and your Disruptor, and they're going to go ahead and go with the Centaur here. This is a really bold pick, and this is the kind of carry that I really love seeing Loda on.
Yeah, it's a really good Loda here. I was going to mention, like, CK comes to mind as, in terms of, like, a space creator. I know you don't like the pick, but it fits the mold.
I'm not saying I don't like it.
You were making all kinds of faces.
Oh my lord, that face from Fog.
It's like, did that just happen?
When was the last time we saw Centaur?
Well,
right
now.
I think it was about 20 seconds ago.
No, we've
seen it pretty recently.
We've seen there has been experimented with.
Yeah, it has been played around. They did play it once at Epicenter as well. So
right.
But in the first 2, that's pretty bold, especially with Lifestealer being so prominent.
I think it just says "Come at us, bro." Right?
See, OG was the one.
It's the Bat Rider counter. When you see him blink in, you just stampede, and you either counter initiate or you just get away. So. Used to be a lot more popular versus Doom, actually, as the Doom counter. The hero gets Doom, you stampede, he gets away.
I'm sad that I don't have Charlie and Winter on here. No disrespect to you two guys, but they were crapping on Alliance earlier for having no initiative, no new heroes, nothing different. Hello, second pick. Fogged, you were with them, right?
Yeah.
You were part of that alliance.
He got railroaded.
I did get a bit railroaded.
Well, when you're on a panel with Charlie, that's what happens.
You say you want something different, they're going to give us something different this time.
And now you're not happy.
In the first 2, I'm not happy. I'm like...
He's super confused right now.
Oh god,
really.
the game is bugging out.
I'm happy as well.
Yeah. But really, is it going to get banned? Or do they just want to be like, you know what, Centaur?
Well, and you're picking it with Lifestealer still on the table. Like Feast is going to give 1,000 HP every time he's
That's
playing.
kind of what I was saying, is that you're picking a Centaur into, a team that loves Lifestealer, and it's UIF plays it all the time. Like I don't know. It's very strange to me.
Yeah, and Loda Lifestealer has been hit or miss. We've seen some games where he's been really good on it, where he gets like the armlet face, has a lot of impact. Yeah. Some of the games where he's gone for Radiance, which is kind of an antiquated build. It feels like not as effective. So,
well, it's ironic that you say that, right? Because the Radiance build is actually relatively. I mean, Loda on Lifestealer goes way back.
Well, he was the first one to start doing it after the ancient change.
Yep.
Then Universe tried to take it to the next level.
I can kind of it works pretty well versus Lifestealer at the same time if you use your Stampede properly and you kite around a Lifestealer during the rage. But yeah, you know, like of course, you know, playing a Strength hero into Lifestealer is always very scary, and especially since they're probably gonna put it on Loda.
Yeah, I do think so far they have really good answers for Lasso. Like it's not an easy Batrider game. They're only 2 picks in, so that is encouraging for Alliance here.
We should talk about the fact this is it is possible that you'll see Bulldog on the Centaur. I still would lean toward Loda, just because of the style that they like to play. This is a good setup to me for a Bulldog Prophet or a Lone Druid.
That has been the one concern for me with Alliance, though, is that it seems like they just keep on changing the heroes almost too much. Like, you mentioned the Loda Anti-Mage, a bit underwhelming, didn't quite have the impact you were looking for. He's barely played Anti-Mage, whereas Ramsey's Anti-Mage has been a go-to pick for him. So there is that concern. How much have they practiced with it? Are they comfortable running the hero? We're going to find out.
Well, but I think you were going to see that from Alliance regardless coming into this event. I think it's been a big concern that Alliance is really been very limited, not necessarily just in their heroes, but in the set of strats that they've been running. And I think that's a big thing I was excited about to see them bring in Synderen as the coach. Synderen been doing some very different things, very team fight oriented style with no diggity. And I think if Alliance is able to incorporate some of those elements into their gameplay, it's not just about the new heroes. It's about being able to do some new things in terms of where they are in the game.
Definitely agree. So what's it going to be now for Alliance?
Darkseer ban. I guess they don't want to get Wombo comboed with the Disruptor, but...
And that really
Bulldog
shows that it shows that they're thinking about Loda on Centaur as well.
Yeah, but Bulldog... Well, I can't even remember the last time he played Darkseer either. It's been a long time.
Of them,
I mean, then that would... You'd have to have an S4 carry of some kind.
I guess,
and a pretty hard one at that.
Vici's not really, I guess, looking at like team-specific bans. They're just kind of looking at like, what do we not want to deal with?
Which hero fits in well to this draft?
A little bit surprised that they didn't ban the Dragon Knight there. The Puck, sure, but I'd have gone Puck Dragon Knight with my bans, I think.
All right, what's Alliance cooking up here?
Well, this is the classic, like a lot of basically Lifestealer getting big into the metagame has basically brought Shadow Demon back by itself.
They are just trying to shut down this Batrider and Lifestealer extremely hard.
That's EGM.
EGM, right?
Yeah. Unless they are doing some.
And it kind of makes sense, right? It's a decent EGM hero because it does
third most played,
and he can actually farm quite well if you level up the poison a lot early, which I imagine is what we are going to see if he's not forced to lane too much.
And it's of course, like without even really needing to say, it's very good versus Batrider. It's another type counter if you just put someone under that he lassos. Also, if you can just purge the Batrider as soon as he goes in, or you save your purge for the Lifestealer in those engagements.
This is a very different looking draft from Alliance, though. This is 3 heroes they just don't play all the time, and may have played 1 or 2 now and again, but this is very different.
Yeah, I mean, are they thinking towards like an off-lane Centaur and then someone who really benefits from a Shadow Demon? Anti-Mage comes to mind. Spectre has been quite popular at times.
I kind of can't believe that Doom is still on the table here.
Yeah.
You'd imagine it won't be for long.
I'm not sure you want another single target based hero against Shadow Demon, against Stampede. You do like, who do you doom? You doom the Centaur, he just gets disrupted, they counter initiate. You doom the Shadow Demon, just stampedes him away.
At the same time, it makes a big difference that when they're picking Doom, it's generally their 4. And so, you know, when Doom has a lot of farm, is a core, who do you doom is a big question. But okay, all right, forget it. There's no way I'd have called that pick.
Oh my goodness.
This is something straight out of the No Diggity playbook.
It is.
S4 is also, we were mentioning it earlier, S4 has been trying to bring this hero back, and we did see it work last game with Liquid, of course, and also we do have, you have obviously the setup from Shadow Demon, so now they have massive forms of lockdown, a lot of AoE, and pretty short cooldown ultimates. Disruptor's 70-second cooldown, Stampede is 60, Shadow Demon as well, 60-second cooldown until you get your Aghanims.
And you know what's still on the table for Alliance is the Void. You don't think that locks down the Lifestealer, it locks down the Riki. They have a lot of AoE damage to go into it.
Doesn't synergize too well with the Centaur, but it's decent with Lesh.
Right. That's the Centaur's a worry. But remember, S4 plays a really, really good core Centaur.
Yeah, so if we assume here that it's gonna be a Loda Centaur, then, which I think most of us are leaning that way, it's a Leshrac for S4. Question becomes, what's the Bulldog here, I guess. So Void,
I like the Void.
What else do you like besides Void?
Void's good. If they want to go for their like you know, their standard of Furion. Furion's quite good versus like the kiting. It's not too good versus the Ricky Morrow, you could say, and the Batrider, but it's, you know, their comfort, their staple.
The only reason I don't like the Furion here, they may well go for it. I don't want to denigrate that at all. But the only reason I don't like the Furion here is that they then Stampede becomes their primary initiation tool, and that worries me a little bit.
Well, and, you know, Blink.
Yeah, Blink's
Blink's
not,
yeah,
sure.
Of course.
But
it gives them a front line. It gives them like treants to front line and stuff, and also another tower hitter, I guess you could say. And he can split push very well, obviously. But
then, okay, the one thing, if on the other side of the coin, if you're going to go Bulldog Centaur, is there a gotcha hero for Loda here?
5 seconds remaining.
I'm still on the Loda Centaur train.
They could run one position void potentially. That's something actually No Diggity did and was very successful with.
It's a very open draft.
You're on the
still.
same page with me.
I almost like that better than the offlane.
They could save Flame Lash still.
Yeah, Shadow
It's a
Demon
very
Lash.
weird one, yeah. And then they put something else mid, very little bit different, but it totally shuts down whoever's in the off lane. It doesn't leave your Lash track susceptible to ganks in the mid lane from the Ricky, because you know he's very squishy.
And look at the Slark Ben. So they're Vici Gaming thinking about the possibility of that Bulldog Centaur as well.
And Vici goes back to the Queen of Pain.
One of my favorite. This is going to be a really wonderful mid lane matchup. I'm really excited to see Nono Queen against S4 Leshrac.
With
Both
a Ricky messing with him. That's the big
Shadow
thing,
Demon, maybe counter ganking.
It's going to be a really fun early game.
And Lesh is pretty vulnerable.
Oh, okay, all right.
Wow, we had to see it eventually, and the Brood is in play for Alliance as the final pick. Very quickly, go down the lines. I know it's very, very hard to do it, but
Alliance, Brood 5th, gotcha.
Okay, LD.
Yeah, I don't see them having great tools to deal with this Brood.
I'm gonna have to agree as well.
Okay, Alliance all the way.
Crazy.
Alliance all the way.
Clean sweep for Alliance on the panel. And that also means we now have just 27 heroes that haven't been picked yet. Let's head over to commentary team for game 1.
Thank you very much indeed, Paul. We're ready. It's going to be Alliance versus Vici Gaming Reborn. I'm OD. This is Gods. You're beautiful. Let's get ourselves into the game.
You Bulldog with that Brood pick, not so beautiful.
Oh, yeah, what a disgusting little bulla. Yeah, yes. Brood Mother, Bulldog, 5th pick. How hard is this put Vici Gaming off guard, or do they have ways to deal with it, guys?
They definitely did not see this coming. They don't have a good way of dealing with it. They're going to have to do best they can. Sentries, Dust, these supports are not going to have much fun. The Lifestealer's not going to have much fun. They may even swap up the lanes and do Bat safe lane against the Brood in a 1v1, but Bat doesn't really win that matchup, I want to say. At least it's better you kind of sack your Bat and then at least get Lifestealer farm there, so... It looks like, I mean, for VG.R, I think you just got to swap around your lanes a bit when you see the Brood pick.
Absolutely. I mean, talking about the draft elsewhere as well, the fact that we're seeing Shadow Demon come back into it here for EGM. S4, he gets that Leshrac. I mean, this is a hero that we've seen, especially in the series earlier that Alliance played against Liquid. It was banned out against S4, so Liquid, they respected the power of having S4 on that Leshrac. I mean, how good is Lesh in your eyes? Is there still a space for Lesh in this current meta?
We're seeing this patch become very kind of tanky frontliner driven. There's tanky heroes in the front lines who aren't building BKB as much. Spell damage is becoming more and more important. And I think a hero like Lesh can do very well with the Bloodstone changes, making him that much stronger. So I think Lesh is good. He's very viable, especially when you have a setup, which is what the Shadow Demon provides. Good with the Centaur to help keep him alive as well. So.
And talking about the Centaur, so Loda playing it, it was something that we were talking about earlier during the draft, whether it was going to be Loda or if it was going to fall into Bulldog's hands. But Loda, I mean, I guess it's similar, kind of like to the hero like the Slardar that we see Loda play, similar kind of play style, and it is something that Loda has dabbled with before in the past. I mean, I'm talking, patches ago as well. This was a thing, sometimes Alliance, they'd see an opening and they drop the Centaur, but obviously the rare thing here being the fact that they picked it up second this game.
Yeah, a lot of Alliance's success has come from when they've been able to put Bulldog more on the carry role, like in the off lane, like his Lone Druid, his Nature's Prophet, his two famous ones, but his Brood's kind of a similar thing at times, and you want to have Loda on a hero that doesn't need as much farm and can be more of a tempo controller in that scenario.
It's going to be very interesting to see how well S4 manages in this lane matchup. I mean, himself against the Queen, as a Lesh, you're still going to find farm, but having this constant harassment from FY and the Ricky as well, it's not going to be fun. And in fact, S4 needs to be careful here, as we can see, just taking a huge amount of harassment there from the Ricky Maru.
And important to watch because S4 actually used his Tango already, which means he can't actually put down a sentry, because FY will just immediately desentry it. You can't actually win the sentry battle without a Tango, so S4 is going to have to wait for his Tango to probably come off cooldown before he wants to drop his sentry to deal with this Riki.
Yeah, and of course overall looking at the lane situation, it's exactly as you suggested. You know, VG Gaming Reborn, they're putting the lifestealer down in this bottom lane away from the Brood, so at least there's a chance for END to find some farm. I mean, the question is, I guess, with this lane situation, how safe are Vici down there? I mean, we might actually have that answered here. Is already moving in. Nice paralyzing cast, going to be able to cancel the stomp animation, giving a chance for END to rage himself out of that one, and he'll get himself back to safety.
I think the nice thing about the rage is you can always get it off out of the disruption. I'm pretty sure you can't time a hoof stomp out of the disruption to catch lifestealer before. Rage
unless it was frame perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think, I don't even know if frame perfect exists. If it's a Mirana, it's different because you can have the arrow on top of the disruption so that you come out and you're
inside
hit.
the box of the arrow. Yeah.
But the hoof stomp, possibly if it's frame perfect, but I'm pretty sure you can always get that rage off.
Yeah.
But it does mean he should have an escape for this. For the Centaur, the disruption there, you're just trying to force out the rage, chew through the lifestealer's mana pool, make him keep playing defensively, force out the cast mana from the Witch Doctor as well. Taking a look at some of the others, it looks like VG.R's laning stage is actually going just fine.
Oh, look at this mid, S4. Getting a heavy bit of harassment down to no, a bit of sentry on sentry action. S4 not quite quick enough. FY will get the D ward. As we can see, EGM now starting to hang around with S4. I mean, it really feels like S4 does need the Shadow Demon here. We can already see that it is a tricky lane. He is 7 for 0 against the 10 for 4. And with EGM around, he should have a bit of a better chance of keeping level and at least catching up a little bit, because FY's Riki has been quite a nuisance at the moment.
And this is EGM just sitting here to keep S4 alive. There isn't, like, really true kill potential.
EGM, I mean, he needs to come in and indeed with the disruption. It will save S4 for the timing. The dagger's going to continue to tick down, but it's not going to be enough damage through the Tango regen, so it will be fine. But as we're seeing, this is a lot of pressure on the Leshrac early on.
And this is the second salve S4's had to bring himself to just stay alive in this lane. So he's got 7 CS, but you think about how much he's invested in salves, it's like 4 CS worth of salves. So he's really not doing well at all against this Queen of Pain. And your SD having to sit mid to help keep S4 alive means bottom lane Lifesteal is going to get more farm out of the lane. So it's a 2v2 lane rather than a 3v2. So effectively, both mid and bottom lane should at least stabilize and go very well for VG.R. The Batrider so far has done well against the Brood, sitting on 15 CS. It gets a bit harder as Brood starts to build up that Spiderling army, but as long as you're staying fairly healthy, you may have to bring yourself some extra regen. He just eats his way through one of his Iron Branches, so he's going to get that big boost in regen. Yang should do just fine up here.
And we can see here at the moment, just with a couple of stacks Napalm and Firefly, just discouraging Bulldog from keeping the spiders
bottom,
on.
they've gone in on Loader.
Oh, let's see if they get away with the kill. Indeed, Riki is there as well. The kinetic field going to be dropped down, trying to contain VG.R, but it doesn't matter. They move in, and first blood for the Lifestealer. I mean, you said it yourself, the fact that EGM has had to leave the bottom lane and go to mid. You look at a hero like Riki, FY can afford to be a little bit more mobile, and suddenly catching Alliance off guard, 3 versus 2 advantage, getting the first blood on the Lifestealer farming on the offlane. That's a brilliant start for VG.R.
Yeah, and normally like a Brood who's doing well is able to create space, but in a 1v1 scenario, the Brood isn't really space creating. You're just like kind of farming your lane. You may even be pressuring your tower, but you're going to have to do more than that, and that's exactly what Alliance have in mind. They smoke up, they're looking to go for a kill on Yang, recognizing that this is the weak lane that you can exploit.
Yeah, this should catch Yang off guard here. We'll see if he's able to play his way around it, but no. Indeed, with the disruption setup, in comes Loader with the Hoof Stomp, and Yang is down. Bulldog will find the kill with that final bit of burst. And mid lane at the same time, though, this is the problem. S4, can he keep himself alive here? 19 HP. The tick of the dagger is going to come in and take him down. And again, we're seeing VG.R just react really nicely to knowing where EGM is. As soon as they see him go up top, they know that they can look to make an aggressive move mid, and they get away with it.
Yeah, every time Alliance show a lane rotation, VG.R have responded. This time around, Brood will go bottom with Centaur rocking up top. They realize Loader's Blink Dagger is going to be very important for their, as far as item timings go, so they're happy to send the Brood bottom to contest that lane. But again, VG.R have a response already in mind. They say, okay, Brood's going to swing bottom. Let's now send the Bat down there and have Lifestealer farm at the top lane. So VG.R seem to always just be one step ahead of Alliance here in the early game.
As we can see, indeed, as you said, just keeping the harassment on. The question is, can they do anything about Yang? They've got the Thunderstrike count in, but with backup around the corner available from DDC, it's very hard for them to try and make
Blink
a
in
goal.
mid, they've gone in on S4.
Oh, S4 again. He does not have any backup. He'll look for the stun. It's going to be whiffed, and No just moves in with the right clicks. Can he get away with this one? Where's the reaction? EGM will come out with the disruption. No, he's going to look to set it up, and you'll get one. The question is, can they punish this man in return? No, blinks away.
Loda was short like 1 mana on the TP in.
Oh.
He didn't have the hoof stomp. He got the hoof stomp right out, like a millisecond too late to turn it around. That is brutal.
Oh, and if FY picks up a freebie here, he's not going to be able to get it because of the fairy fire. And actually, EGM with the dust, can they kill this Ricky? Now get the disruption, and now Loda with that hoof stomp ready around two. And nearly indeed, those illusions blocking Loda away from being able to get the final blow, but they will end up getting it. Do manage to get a fortunate D-ward as well on the ward that was placed down during that bit of an engagement. So Alliance managing to find a kill in return, but still, as we can see, S4 having a really tough time top. He's actually come towards the bottom lane, looking to try and set up a stun from the sidelines to catch out this lifestealer, but it feels like this is going to be a bit of a hard task here for Alliance to get away with.
When you have your cores rotating this early on, like the Centaur TPing top to gank the Brood's lane,
I mean,
or a Leshrac TPing bottom, like that's kind of like a desperation play. Like these lanes aren't working, we've got to go for like a really risky core rotation this early on. That's not a good sign. And again, Bulldog rotates top, but this time around, Bat's already out there again with Dust, looking for a kill, although looks like Bulldog will respond in time with EGM's TP support as well. They'll manage to escape from the aggression. FY's Ricky has, I was about to say FY's bounty has been very effective. It feels like a bounty
I mean, it really does. The way he's been playing it, you can certainly see the strength. And as people were saying earlier, you know, the fact that Ricky's kind of come into popularity ever since the bounty started to get targeted in terms of bans and stuff, because you can afford to play it in a similar way, especially in these earlier stages of mid lane. No. Walking in with the Sonic Wave, finishes off Loda. And this seems to be the problem, as you're saying. These cores are making rotations, and they're getting punished for it. No.
He's fine. He's got charges, he's got blink. He's not too worried about that aggression. No's a player that a lot of people like. I mean, VG.R, they won Star Ladder Invitational with their coach standing in for Nono. Right?
Good old Mikasa.
Despite that, obviously Nono, a more mechanically gifted player, a stronger player than Mikasa. VG.R didn't have the same success full net tournament, so a lot of people were kind of pointing fingers at him. But this game, he has really shown up, dominated the mid lane, with the help of FY, of course. It's been a team effort, but he is showing that he is the right fit for this team, at least here in game number 1.
Oh, we'll see here. S4 is going to look towards the rune. FY and DDC are going to be there. DDC is going to be able to grab the invis. Can S4 kill this man? He's going to look for the AoE. Is he going to be able to find it? One more proc. No, he can't quite get it. Oh, the right click will do it though. S4 gets away with getting the kill. END's just going to rage and TP himself away from Ake, but no, the glimpse is going to come out afterwards, and END now caught out. But can they kill him out? I guess himself nice and deep inside FY. FY will be able to carry him away. S4. No. Ooh, not quite got enough time to get the scream off, but he's got eyes on
EGM, though,
Ake.
he's been infest bombed.
Yeah, and there we have it. EGM will have the backup of Loda, so it's going to be enough to scare FY and end away.
Very scrappy game. Loda's about to hit level 6, which means the Stampede comes online, which could have set up an extra kill here or there, as well as keep some of these Alliance heroes alive. So this is going to make a big difference for the overall approach to these fights going on. It is still VG.R with a advantage here in the early game. Queen of Pain, a lot of farm to Nono's name. And with the next Sonic Wave coming up in 20 seconds, I imagine he's going to be ready to get aggressive once again.
Yeah, especially considering the way he's been playing. Nono's been absolutely on top of just getting involved anyway season opening. Those 3 kills at the moment out of the 4 that VG.R have got, very impressive indeed. But as we're saying, is looking at Bulldog, how much space can he create for the side? How much pressure can he put up on this lane? Spider-Rights coming through, hunting out Yang there in the sidelines, and this lane gets hard.
Yeah, it gets hard for Yang. He can't even really stick around anytime he's half HP, even 2/3 HP. He's just too much of a kill risk with the Stampede to back him up. So he may just have to concede this tower to Bulldog unless someone can maybe TP up there in his absence. But a T1 tower to a Brood, 10 minutes in, that's kind of maybe expected, even especially considering a 1v1 lane. So VG.R just gonna concede defeat to the Brood for now.
And they're already looking elsewhere for objectives. VG.R now making a movement over into Alliance's jungle, heading straight down towards the bottom lane. But Loda, he's aware that something's up. He's playing it safe, just backs himself up. Alliance themselves positioned on the high ground towards the mid lane. Maybe wondering if VG are going to continue and wrap around between the towers and head at these stairs, which they may just do. So Alliance may catch them off guard. We'll see how deep VGR want to go. They're at the moment just staying over this side. They've been scanned out. Bang on scan
But
from
Ricky's
Alliance.
also seen them from Invis, so Ricky has a good idea of what's going on here. Yang needs to be a bit careful himself.
He's going to start to run S4. Looking to maybe chase. They'll get the glimpse off, but no messing around here. With the Static Storm drop down, Alliance, they're looking for a free kill onto the Batrider, and they'll get it. Now in comes No. Will jump forward. The disruption there to hold him back. Make sure he can't get off that good Sonic Wave that he was looking for. And it will just end as that one. VGR unable to find anything with that jump in, and do just end up losing Yang there to the side of Alliance. And meanwhile, Bulldog, he's chomping away there up on the top lane, and he's already applying a fair bit of pressure onto the tier 2.
Yeah, and this is something at this stage, VGR, when you go for that kind of smoke rotation, you've got to act fast. You can't just take your time, meddle around, wait to get vision, and then engage, because against the Brood, you're going to take heavy damage. So the fact they took as long as they did mean not only did they end up losing a kill, but they also find themselves almost losing their top tier 2 tower. It's down to deny range.
Yeah, they might even have to cut them themselves. Yeah, this is, I mean, Bulldog, it really feels, he at the moment, he is having the game that he was looking for. There's been nothing that's really kind of slowed him down. He's hit all the item timings that he was expecting to. It's just a question of how well the rest of the team can play around it. And bottom lane, eyes are onto Loader. You can see FY ready to set up some action. They're going to move the Witch Doctor over. There's Death Ward available. I mean, a smoke screen and a Death Ward, they can go for that one. Mid lane, they'll try for a glimpse back. It's not going to work. Let's see if the boys can do it. DDC and FY teaming up here with the Death Ward out. Loader's trying to get it. Stop your Death Ward, god damn it! But he can't do it in time. And S4 might be able to look for a cleanup. Chasing down DDC, he'll get the Witch Doctor, but FY, he's going to get dusted. EGM can try and set this up, but with the tricks of the trade, FY trying to play around, looks to silence S4, but it doesn't matter. EGM with the control allowing S4 to walk around. They'll take down FY as well. No's coming in. Oh, he's got a life stealer bomb and munching down onto S4 as VGR will claim themselves the Leshrac. So at the end of the day, it's 2 cores for 2 supports. VGR more than fine with that one.
Yeah, and they're dealing pretty well with the Brood up top. Looks like Yang wants to go for this kill. That was a very aggressive play with his dust there.
A bit of a premature dust there.
Yep. Hoping to maybe get the flame break to push him into
look
himself.
Look at this build from Bulldog. Echo Saber Brood. That is quite something.
Great stats for the hero.
Yeah.
I saw the first Oblivion stuff, just expected the traditional Orchid Rush, but the Echo Saber going to be much more a fighting build coming out from Bulldog, so I imagine...
Look at this. Bulldog, here we go. Echo Saber time. Chomp, chomp, chomp. DDC is down. Bulldog getting away with that one with the help of Ake. And it looks like the VGR not going to be able to punish it. So Bulldog continues to have an absolutely perfect game here on the Broodmother.
Yeah, it's been pretty much flawless from him out in this top lane. He bullied the Batrider when he needed to, kept him out of the lane. It's a kind of late Batrider Blink Dagger end of the day. 13.5 minutes, normally not bad maybe for an off-lane Bat, but this Bat has had the 1v1 lane against the Brood. Doesn't get the ideal timing on this and has lost both Tier 1 and Tier 2 tower up top. I think VGR will have to be somewhat concerned about, but Infest bombs in Batriders, always a dangerous sight.
Yeah, Alliance, they were making a move around bottom. End was pushing out the lane on the Lifestealer, but he's already TP'd himself back to safety, so Alliance won't find the Lifestealer. We'll see if they're able to wrap around towards mid, or if they just look to turn this smoke into a push, take down a tier 1. But still, I mean, so much space is being given to Brood. I mean, at what point, if you're VGR, do you start to target the Brood? Or is this the way you've just got to play around Bulldog? You've got to ignore him and look to just continue to play the game that you want.
Brood is a hero you can ignore for a long period of time, as long as she's not taking a lane of racks.
Oh, EGM. He's found a catcher with the disruption. The question is, can the rest of the team get there in time? Okay. And the strike out to DDC. They do have a static storm, but they want to try and look for a big fight. They'll bring DDC back into the Who Stops Double Edge combination, and DDC's down. Bulldog now on a killing spree. Can they chase down for anything more? They've found FY. No, caught in the static. They'll get him. Ake may tick down to the dagger, but it doesn't matter. It's a 2-for-1 trade for Alliance.
And denied by Leshrac. So
oh, S4.
just great team fight.
Killing Ake. That's a biblet thump. But it's worth it, as you said. Yeah, I mean, as we can see with the gold exchange. Alliance, little fights like that, I mean, it's working out for them, and it's allowing them to certainly keep S4 up in terms of farm. Loader's still got a little bit of a way to go, but you could argue on a Centaur, you don't really need that much to be relatively scary. I mean, he's already very tanky with the Vanguard, and he's got a fair amount of burst with the combo. And you see down bottom, they're looking to catch out the Spider. They have found it, but S4 is going to be there to offer some kind of help. It's not going to be enough, though, as Bulldog gets taken down. FY picking him up, self up a nice little bit of gold.
It's a
with
big
that kill.
streak to be ending.
Yeah.
Full 1,000 gold swing just off of one brood kill, so overstaying their welcome there. I'm not entirely sure if I imagine they should have known about the Batrider's blink given the previous fight, but Alliance come off of a big team fight win and just give away a bit of a freebie, but still find themselves in a good position. I think the thing with Loda, where he's not all that farmed, is you just can't look at him like he's the carry this game. Yeah, Loda, the carry player for Team Alliance, but when you have a Brood and a farming Leshrac on your team, he's playing that more initiator, effectively off-lane type role with what his hero is going to bring to the table. His hero is just much less farm dependent than a Brood or a Leshrac will ever be.
I'll take that.
Now we're going to see S4 just coming around here. I was seeing if the room was still available for the taking, but it's already been taken by Nono.
Ooh, he's
That's by DDC. He picked up the bounty top.
picked up. He's not going Echo Saber, no, on the Queen of Pain. He picked up the Ogre Club to go with his Oblivion Staff, but that's going to be a BKB transition, so kind of changes his mind partway through his build. That he wants to prioritize the BKB more, and considering how these fights are going, you need that magic community. If you ever get caught in a
BKB,
disruption, you're dead.
Yeah.
If you get caught in a glimpse, you're dead.
It's so good against Alliance's lineup. I mean, it's magical damage upon magical damage at the moment that they're dealing.
You know, this is a game where they're going to need BKBs across all their cores. So definitely agree with the build.
Oh,
Illusion bait.
doing a bit of an alliance there.
That was
back to the earlier series where we saw.
That was a really nice play.
Yeah.
He actually disrupted himself and sent the illusion out. It's a level. He's leveling up the disruption. Has 3 points, and the illusion duration does scale very well. One of the recent buffs towards Shadow Demon.
Yeah, 12-second illusion at max level. You can do a lot of fun stuff with that.
Great for baiting spells, scouting, and doing just what we saw there. Finding out exactly what VG.R is up to, and after this, Alliance is gonna smoke up and look to see what they can find in the dire jungle.
Now, I mean, VG.R already actually heading around over to the kind of the side of the Ancients and grouping up as 4. In fact, they may be looking for a smoke themselves.
Queen just blinked in.
That's it, they get away with this kill quickly before the rest of VG.R turns up. Static Storm down, and no, he's got. Alliance to get themselves anything more. Paralyzing cast coming out to EGM, trying to move forward, but there we go with the Stampede. Loader telling EGM to get the hell out of there, and it's going to be successful. Bulldog already contemplating and moving in for more. Yang's going to be on the sidelines, jumps in, gets off the lasso. Bulldog needs a bit of help, tricks and trade from FY, and the Spider's down. VG.R finding one in return. Can they turn it into any more? Jumping forward, FY looking to chase down EGM. Indeed, trying to get himself enraged to get the final slap through. Oh, he'll disrupt himself, but it's delaying the inevitable as EGM gets taken down as well here. So VG.R cleaning up a quick 2 for the one in return. Oh, he's getting a glimpse onto end. That's big. No, he's got the Rage back on. Rage was back available just in time as well. Good news there for the Lifestealer. That was it.
It's an unfortunate casualty for VG.R, but
look, it is the Echo. What is it with Echo Sabers today?
on Quap there in that.
Is this a visual bug? Echo Sabers rather than Orchids?
He's gonna disassemble it. I was about to say he.
He was like, oh god, I didn't want that.
He didn't read the patch notes.
Nope.
It only works on melee heroes. Sorry, no. But yeah, this is like the BKB for the Queen of Pain is so essential at this stage, which is where VG.R win that fight. But it's unfortunate because getting the Queen of Pain's BKB is the most needed item for them right now. Lifesteal is doing well. Like, there's no item that he desperately needs. I mean, there's items that'll make him stronger and have more kill potential, like the Desolator or whatever he's going to decide to go into. But Queen of Pain is probably the one hero they want to die the least. But still, a team fight one. They kill the Lesh. They get the +1 on the support Shadow Demon. And VG.R, for now, pretty stable here, but it's not really either team pulling away. Very close game one between these two squads.
Now, Alliance, I'm going to calm it down a little bit now at this stage. I mean, when you look at both lineups, do you feel is there much pressure on Alliance to keep the ante up, or is, you know, as the later this goes, I mean, is it always going to favor end on the Lifestealer in terms of carry potential late game?
Lifestealer, solo core Lifestealer, not exactly what this is. Queen of Pain does scale pretty well. Always going to struggle late game because you get kited around, Force Staffs, Ghost Scepters, all these pesky items. Stampede, amazing against Lifestealer. We've seen that in the team fights already. So it's not a great game for VG.R to go late game with Lifestealer, but it's also not a great game for Alliance to go late game. Brood here are also known for not scaling all too on the late game, although Bulldog is going for a more physical damage carry-oriented build. He's going straight into BKB after Echo Saber.
Loader trying to move into to finish off this tower, claim the gold from it. We'll see if VG.R get the deny. No, yes they will.
Lifestealer pokes his nose in.
So.
But yeah, I mean, heading towards late game, I even perhaps slightly favor Alliance. I think
Yeah.
Shadow Demon is going to go like as
That's
a
going to be
support,
scary against
amazing.
Dice, yeah. The kite potential.
Yeah, the Purge. If you get an Accept on this hero, you get. I imagine he may just want to go for a 4-star first, but you've got Stampede. They've got great ways of dealing with Lifestealer. The Batrider and the Queen of Pain are actually going to be the more important heroes for VG.R in a lot of ways. To make sure that these heroes get BKBs and scale well, Queen of Pain needs to be a true kind of carry as well. Batrider needs to make sure he can actually farm Blink, Force, and BKB. It's a lot of items to sometimes farm on a Batrider.
It's going to be very interesting to see as the game goes on. I mean, even things like, even the potential of, say, Loader getting an Ags inevitably on the Centaur, and then you look at the fact that anytime VG.R, they get a jump in on someone, get a lasso off. As long as Loader pops that Stampede, the damage reduction is there, you're not going to be able to kill whoever you've caught during that duration of the lasso. You're going to be able to give them an extra chance. On bottom lane, no. Eyeing up Loader, but not really a lot that he can do on his own as a quad. Especially with Loader, of course, having the Hood and the Vanguard up with the infused raindrops.
It's hard for VG.R to find kills except with the Batrider. Like, we had Lifestealer infested and Ricky going around, but kind of as you mentioned, if they ever find someone, you just pop a Stampede, and that's enough to get them out of an open wound. So it's really the Batrider lasso that they've got to play around, and that's exactly what VG.R have in mind. They bring 4 heroes top now.
Radiant's top tower.
Looking around for Team Alliance.
They are going to respond. You've got 4 heading up here. Will they be able to make some kind of jump before the tier 1 goes down? That's the question. Loader coming forward. I mean, 1400 gold, I guess with the Hood picked up, you imagine he still just goes for the Blink next, or is there any reason why he would finish off the pipe first and forego getting the Blink yet?
I could finish the pipe. It's a very good team item. They've got initiation from Glimpse, so they're not entirely dependent on him. Because of that, you throw a pipe into the mix, and a lot of the damage output from Bat, the Queen of Pain Scream, is going to be negated. But the Hood is just so nice because of the synergy with the double edge. You just pop the Hood, you can double edge, and you take no damage.
Well, VG.R, after looking to hang around the top there, quite respectively, just very careful about finding a fight with Alliance. Bulldog's now got the BKB, so he himself is going to be certainly greater issue for the side of VG.R to try and deal with, unless they are committing that lasso to him and bursting him down during that duration.
This is a good move. They see 2 heroes top with their Observer Ward, so they know if they find anyone at mid or bottom, it could be a quick kill, but problem is Bulldog not the easiest kill to find at mid. They've got a dust, but Bulldog not really showing himself.
I know, been able to claim a few Spider Rights there. Nice bit of cash for the Queen of Pain. And then Yang, he's going to come across towards the bottom. Maybe they can catch out a hero here. It's Ake and S4 at the moment, but that's a little bit scared of coming too close.
Yeah, I think it was scouted by a Spiderling as well that was in the river going towards Roche. Like the lone Spiderling, like
good old John.
Scouting mission.
Yeah, but at this point, I mean, you're looking at kind of the farm progression of both teams, and overall, I guess it's fairly close, really. If you look at the comparison of the 3 cores across the board, it's slightly split up a little bit differently for each side, but no one's falling behind.
It's really dead even in a lot of ways. The Shadow Demon, as far as supports go, on par with the Ricky, really. So it's not even much separating those two. I think Shadow Demon getting item this game can have a big impact. 4-star Aghanim Scepter is going to be really nice against even the Batrider as well as the Lifestealer. But for VG.R, for now it's kind of slow tempo, but that's because they were waiting for some of these items. The Queen of Pain BKB comes online, as does the Desolator on Nake. So if they find a pick off, they've got much greater Roche taking potential off of the Desolator, Tower taking potential, and it's going to be a lot tougher for Alliance to fight into these items. S4 is still fairly squishy, sitting on just the Bloodstone.
And here we have a VG.R ready for a full 5-man smoke. And infested up inside of FY.
And you see no heroes on these lanes. Alliance should be privy to something going on. And this is the stage where you want to be very defensive with your general hero positioning. So I don't imagine they're going to be caught completely off guard by this. I mean, they're hovering as 5 themselves.
Yeah, Alliance reacting very nicely to the fact that everyone is off the map at the moment for VG.R. And they do know that they are not in Roshan, as again, the Spiderite scouting from Bulldog confirms this. So they know that VG.R are looking for these aggressive smokes, and as you said, grouped up as 5, Alliance, they're a very hard team to jump on.
If they ever do get a jump though, it could be a quick pick for VG.R with the Bat Lasso, so the response to that is not really the greatest from Alliance. If they can get the fast disruption, they're fine, but that's not always the easiest thing to do depending on where EGM is positioned. But Alliance going to set up to go for a push of their own now.
Here we have it. Let's see what VG.R's response to this one's going to be. They'll pop the fortification. FY. It's going to look to wrap around, but as we can see from this vision from Alliance, they know exactly what's up. They know that FY is there. They don't necessarily know that the lifesteal is inside him, but they can certainly guess so. They've already glimpsed back Yang. This has been popped to Yang, jumping in on VGM. He'll get taken down. The Stampede's not going to be enough to save the Shadow Demon. They're still hanging around Alliance, but no, pops the Sonic Wave out, and they've lost S4 as well. Alliance 2 down at the moment. Bulldog pops the BKB, starts to try and jump away at the lifestealer, but he hasn't got enough damage to deal with it. And now lifestealer infecting back up into Yang. They'll jump forward, looking for Loda. Can they stop this man's DP? No, they can't. Loda will be able to escape, but FY, feeling the power of the Spider. Bulldog will take down one in return. Ake looks like he's going to make it a 3-for-1 trade, though, as he ends up falling as well.
Yeah, really nice initiation from VG.R, making sure they got the Queen of Pain's BKB off. No shenanigans there, and it's no hitting a Sonic Wave across the side of Alliance. He did 1,800 damage in that fight. Lifestealer did 2,300.
Yeah. It was the kind of chance for the double infect.
And getting the jump on the Shadow Demon's the key thing there. Ricky blinks in, commits for the Shadow Demon, knowing that this is the one hero that, if you go on someone else, the disruption save is going to be there. So you silence the Shadow Demon, burst him down fast.
And look at that reaction as well. Loda jumps in straight away, but the rage is there from the end, and he is out of that.
Yep. Tower can get denied, but you're okay with that if you're VG.R, because it's much more about the strategic importance of this tower rather than the gold right now. Makes it a lot easier to take Roshan when Alliance don't have that kind of advantage point to TP back towards, as well as just give them map control, so makes life a bit more difficult for Alliance moving forward.
Nice for, of course, to get a bit of space down bottom where he was able to finish off the tier 1, claim the last hit on it. Orchid now done on Quap.
Yule stepped out of S4's Leshrac, so
that's really good time. Having that picked up just at the same time that the No gets his Orchid, that's pretty big for S4.
Yeah, he's got the way out of it, and I think more importantly we see him use this offensively to set his stun to counter-initiate the Batrider. If Batrider blinks in to lasso someone, if you can get the fast Yules on him, it completely ruins that initiation and can set up a counter gank onto the Bat and then win you a team fight. So those act as a really nice item for him, and not for that, Alliance may look to get aggressive themselves.
When talking about how aggressive, I mean FY in return for the side of VGI is constantly making these movements around the map with the lifestealer inside him, seeing if he can catch anyone off guard and alone. But Alliance, they really are just, I mean, for the last 10-15 minutes or so, they are just constantly moving as a 5-man, making sure that no one gets left behind. VG.R keeping themselves safe in the base. They know that the Ricky's been out. FY said, guys, I don't know where they are. They're hiding. So VG.R know that something fishy's going on. And they are certainly not going to be ones to get caught out by it, by just staying safely behind the tier 3s back up into the base, making sure that this smoke is not successful.
Yeah. It's a very just interesting game because both teams have spent so much time entirely missing from the map.
Yeah.
I feel like no one's farming top lane, creep wave, no one's farming mid. No one's really farming bottom until now. FY finally decides to show himself, kind of accepting that.
This wrap around, I mean, they're going to go for the raised TP and it's going to be successful. I mean, nothing to stop that.
That's actually one of a key point this game, that the lifesteal is the one hero that can go out on the map to farm because they haven't got a way to stop the rage TP. The only thing they can try and do is catch him by surprise with a static storm initiation where you throw down the silence and then have Centaur blink right as you do that. But the Centaur stun cast time means that if lifesteal is ready and has fast fingers, he's always going to get that rage off before the Centaur stun hits.
That certainly is the case. And
Alliance has spent a lot of time grouped as 5 moving around, unable to find those fights, so any kind of a lead they may have had has kind of slipped away a little bit, although on the same side, VG.R, when all these 5 heroes are constantly missing, VG.R have not been farming themselves. This has been a game where both teams seem too scared to move out on the map and take control of the lanes or the farm on the map.
Might see a big clash here if Alliance hang around. They were spotted out by that ward from VG.R, but again, Alliance is backing up, pings up onto the top lane. We'll see if Loda wants to head up there himself. He's just going to clear up some of the camps. As Alliance do start to go slightly their separate ways at the moment, but they certainly feel safe to do so. They've got a really good amount of vision around towards this ancient area of VG.R, so they know exactly the whereabouts of END on the lifestealer.
Wide blink dagger, there we go.
Okay.
So he can now use the tricks of the trade into a blink dagger escape. He can use the blink to initiate, and then he also has the blink strike on top of this. It also gives him like a more precise blink initiation for the smoke screen. Makes just it a lot easier for him to maneuver around the map, even just farm the lanes. Like, he's got another escape tool to play around, so I like this pickup on the support Riki. I think Alliance recognizing that their 5-man smokes aren't really finding kills because of how defensive and kind of conservative VG.R are playing. They're just like, okay, let's split up and farm a bit. We're gonna play the economy game if they're not gonna fight us.
Yeah, and as well, I mean, you look at some of the heroes, they're very close to having key items. Bulldog, he is very close to having the assault cuirass done. So at least if he's able to find that, then they can start to maybe look to go aggressive again, and they're going to have that real major leg up against the side of VG.R. And well, bottom, they've got a sentry down. FY, now he's going to come under cover of it. It's a hard one to go for, yeah, especially with End and Nono around. Alliance, they've got to be very careful about the way that they take this fight. It's going to be a 3 versus 3, soon to be a 4 versus 3 with the Witch Doctor coming down as well. Alliance, they've got more backup on the way. EGM's there, so it would be a 4-on-4 on Alliance. To make the executive decision not to fight here, and are just going to simply leave this bottom lane.
Feeling like a cold war between these two teams, both kind of poking and prodding here and there. No one really wants to commit to all-out battle just yet. VG.R still going to keep that lifestealer roam around. FY has really been the key player of this VG.R side. 12 of the 13 kills he's been involved in.
Yeah.
And it's also just the fact that they're choosing good fights has come about by the vision that he's provided. And that's where I imagine one of the top priorities for Alliance is, going to be buying a gem. So let's say they feels like you've got to have a gem, not just to see the Riki, but to deward all this annoying vision that Riki has put up on the map. By just the nature of this hero, he's managed to get deep wards all around the Roshan area. And if VG.R ever get a pick-off or two, it's going to be a very easy Roshan claim for their side.
Yeah, and of course the great thing with having that Shadow Demon, the fact that, you know, with the gem he can just create those 12-second illusions of people, send them out, and suddenly it's going to be incredibly hard for FY to get stuff done around the map and try and close the gap onto Alliance. And well, VG.R, they're going to attempt to do exactly that right now, smoking up. We'll see how heavily FY leads the charge, and see if the fact that they did just purchase that gem catches VG.R off guard. Let's see what kind of opening he finds. He's trying to go in, poke the BKB, and he will grab S4, bring him back. No, onto the screen. He's still got the Sonic Wave. He doesn't need it to find the kill on S4. Now the Stampede comes out. Loader trying to retreat. Bulldog will take down the Witch Doctor on the back lines. Now he himself has to be careful. It's 1-for-1 at the moment. Can they get Bulldog as well? Heads up to the high ground. Queen of Pain's already out there, and it looks to settle down just as a quick 1-for-1. But again, VG.R, they're fine with this, and each and every time S4 is losing those Bloodstone charges.
Yeah, S4 loses Bloodstone charges. You just lose support. Brood commits the BKB as well, so that duration getting shorter and shorter. Same for the Queen of Pain, but Queen of Pain can get away a bit more with the 5-second BKB, because for Queen of Pain, it's about dodging that stun initiation. If you get disrupted, you want to have the stun to get out. If you get caught by a glimpse, you just need that insta BKB to prevent the glimpse from happening. But it's Brood who needs a long duration BKB to fight with. So having a shorter duration is going to hurt Bulldog a lot more than it's going to hurt Nono and Queen of Pain.
Alliance coming straight back into this one, seeing if they find anyone hanging around their own jungle. But VG.R, again, it really is a game of just both teams playing incredibly safely.
Yeah, I like Loader transitioning right into the Ag Scepter. Doesn't worry about the pipe. He needs a way. He needs a way to save the hero that gets lassoed. That by S4 gets lassoed. He doesn't stampede because there's no point. It's not going to help S4 run away. He waits until the lasso is about to end to stampede, but S4 he dies during the lasso duration, and there's nothing Alliance could do if EGM's not in the right position to get the disruption off, which is quite difficult for him to always be exactly where he needs to be. If he gets stunned or he gets silenced, it's just all over.
Yeah, and then it's just going to take much more coordination for the side of VG.R to deal with that Centaur. I mean, they can try and get, you know, FY in the backlines with a Cloud, or if they get the Quap Orchid down onto Loader, but at the same time, you've got so many ways, so many saves as well. I mean, yeah, you can try and stop Loader from saving the team of a Stampede, but then you look to, like, obviously EGM as well on the Shadow team, and you've got to worry about the Disruptor, Ake, glimpsing you back. Alliance, they've got a lot of control in these fights, and it's going to be hard for VG.R to play around. They do obviously have the BKBs, they have the Lifestealer with his Rage, so they can attempt it, but they just got to be very smart about the way that they take the fights.
They have control to keep themselves alive, but they need to find ways to start getting kills, and that's what Brood's going to do with a Basher pickup. Get some extra lockdown for the team, because right now, S4, we haven't really seen him shine on the Leshrac just yet. He's 3-6, has not had the easiest game, being one of the main targets for the VG.R aggression, and still VG.R hesitant to go for Roshan. When they see Leshrac up top, they may consider just poking their noses in. A Spiderling again in the neighborhood though, so VG.R will be immediately scouted out should they try this.
Nice's now got his own BKB done, so on top of the Bloodstone, a little bit more survivability. And as you said, maybe if he can even just get the BKB off before the lasso, he may have a chance of living through it. He's going to be scared a little bit of the punch of the lifesteal and the fact that they will always have the Sonic Wave available. And VG.R sneaking into the pit.
Yep. They dust to just scout for Spiderlings. They actually killed a Spiderling with a scream as they blinked in. That was very proactive from Nono. Good heads-up play to deal with the Spiderling. And then they see another one come in, which they're also going to take out. They've got a gem. Okay, so Yang making sure there's nothing Alliance can do to catch him by surprise in the pit. Both teams with a gem, important to note.
And Aegis now on No. It's you got to ask yourself: do Alliance stick around? They probably don't want to fight into an Aegis quap.
They can't push high ground, that's for sure. They can try and take a fight where they're the ones getting the initiation, but that's hard because Queen of Pain has a BKB Aegis. You definitely don't want to go on her. Lifestealer has the Rage. Ricky's really elusive. The Bat also has a BKB now, so there's no real good target to go on. I think Alliance may just have to slow things down, get a few more items up, and really wait for this Aegis to expire.
It really feels like it's going to rely at this point for Loader to get to a point where he's tanky enough so they can just tank the tower and go for the high ground siege. Or, of course, you're looking for Bulldog to just wrap the hell out of them. You know, he is already incredibly fun, but at the same time with the way he's built, he is much more orientated to fighting as a team. This really isn't kind of a straight-up rap build. This is Bulldog consistently being around with his friends and looking to fight as a 5-man.
Well, good news is at least you're not too worried about the Brood falling off, but Loda's Ag Scepter coming up soon, which is going to be a nice teamfight item. The problem is VG.R have pretty good ways to disengage. Ricky always had life. I mean, we talked about the BKBs. It means even when you pop that Stampede, it's a purely defensive tool. You need some way of actually taking the fight to VG.R, securing kills on them. That's something Alliance is still somewhat lacking here, is that potential for aggression.
Now VG.R coming across the Alliance's half of the map, but again, as we're seeing time and time, again, Alliance just very good at dodging these movements.
Really becoming a game of map control.
Yeah.
Like this is, okay, we've got the Aegis, let's get aggressive to get vision up and also take out their vision. For Alliance, you're kind of trying to stay on the other side of the map, get some wards up where possible, as well as use your gem to de-ward VG.R, but at some point VG.R may find themselves able to start sieging down towers. The Lifesteal are pretty good at sieging with the Deso Hyperstone. I believe, AC about to be completed for him as well. And he's got an AC to match up to the one on Bulldog's Broodmother.
VG.R, now for what seems like kind of the first time in a while, they're actually just going to reveal themselves and start to go for a bit of a push on the mid lane. Heading onto the Tier 2 Alliance. Still got 3 members down on the bottom. We'll see how they respond. It looks like they're just going to let this Tier 2 go. As Ping's actually coming out onto the bottom Tier 2 from Alliance, so we'll see if they decide to follow through. Now they are actually going to start heading back. In Tier 1, we'll see if they get the chance to finish it off VG.R, and they will. So Alliance unable to stop that, and VG.R able to get themselves another objective here.
And the game gets a lot harder for Alliance though. Now they have to deal with the Scythe of Vice on Queen of Pain. It means that you've got that Blink Hex initiation. You can take out the BKB of either Bulldog or S4 when you play around this. It means you've got a secondary initiation to the Bat Rider Lasso. You're not entirely dependent on the Bat for the catch, and Stampede's still good, at least if someone's getting hexed up, you can Stampede them away, but not always entirely reliable. That cooldown is very precious to Alliance if they want a team fight. It is so hard to push though. We're going to keep seeing these disrupted Centaur illusions just poking and prodding their heads out. These give vision to scout out the Ricky and Invis. They're also pretty good at clearing out creep waves because of the return passive, so it is very annoying for VG.R to try and end this game with the way Alliance are playing and defending their high ground.
Ping's out to F1. I think they were aware they caught a glimpse of him when he came around, and they do have that Ag Stone.
The scan though sees them.
Oh, so immediately Smudge just spelled Loader trying for a jump, but FY he's quicker with the blink. FY duking out the Who Stomp. VG.R still hanging around. Yang's got the Lifestealer in him, and Yang looking for an opening, jumps in, but immediately the Yule's reaction is there. Nono's going to jump forward as well. He's caught in the middle of it, pops the BKB, throws out the Sonic Wave, but it's not enough to kill anyone. Bulldog himself got the BKB out before the lasso, but the physical damage is there with the Death Ward. They'll take down Bulldog. It will be the only casualty of this fight as the rest of Alliance back up. But Alliance losing Bulldog for 80 seconds. He will have a buyback available, and we'll see if VG.R now are able to push on with the sustain of the Witch Doctor's Voodoo Restoration and look to try and force that buyback out.
And not the easiest push still with The center alive, those illusions going to keep coming out. S4 still has his BKB to try and engage off of, but FY is ready to go and blink initiate.
S4 looking for the setup, onto No-No, will find the initial burst, and FY now jumping in with the light stealer bomb, and immediately EGM getting chopped down, and now moving in for more. Ake falling to the ground. 2 more on Alliance to fall. Bulldog still holding out with the buyback. You're going to see EGM come back into the game on the Shadow Demon.
And they buy back, but don't get any catches, so it's a free buyback getting forced out, and not really a hold for Alliance. They still have the tier 3 tower, but it's a big gold investment just to keep that alive. And I think VG.R will be very happy with what they accomplished during the Aegis duration.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happening there for the side. And I think, as you said, that it's just the fact that VG.R, they got the right items, and they're now at this point where they can just afford to kind of bully Alliance in a sense, and there's not a lot that Alliance can do about it.
See some of FY's stats there. He's sitting on 13 assists this game, so doing just fine on the Ricky against Alliance.
Yeah, certainly making a name for himself on this hero like he has, of course, in over history and on the Bounty Hunter. FY Ricky. Certainly something that I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of this tournament.
The big problem for me with Alliance and what's happening in these fights is they're always just waiting to react. Well, they tried to get the jump there with the smoke and the blink load initiation, but majority of the time when that fails, at that point they're entirely waiting to react to VG.R. It feels like their lineup is purely kind of defensive and reactionary, so it's always going to be VG.R deciding when the fights happen, and it's always happening on VG.R's terms. They're making sure that they get the right blink smokescreen initiation on a Shadow Demon, or they're going to have the Queen of Pain or the Queen of Pain plus Bat who blink in with the lasso and the Sonic Wave with the BKB. So all the fights happening on VG.R's terms so far.
Alliance maybe fishing for some action here. VG.R were to head up to the high ground, but VG.R playing it sensible.
Casual lads pick up for Bulldog. Just looking to buy whatever he can to help out with this next fight. It's not really a game changer as far as any kind of big team fight. It does give a bit of armor to everyone and lifesteal, but realistically he's already got plenty of lifesteal coming out from his ultimate, so.
I mean, I think one thing to point out as well, just going back to earlier on, you were saying the performance of No-No on his quap, and he's maintained it for the full 42 minutes of the game. The fact that he's up there at the top, 21k net worth, he has a Refreshers and a Cypher Vice at this stage of the game.
Well, he's been the majority of the damage in the fights. We talked about how Lifesteal actually is going to struggle if this goes late game because of all the kiting tools, the Demonic Purge, the Force Staffs, the Stampede, and Queen of Pain's just like, that's fine. I'm going to have double Sonic Wave now, double Hex, BKB. I mean, it's No-No picking up the Aegis when they're taking Roshan. It's Queen of Pain, the most farmed hero in the game. Queen of Pain is you probably see the endgame stats, has probably dealt maybe 20 to 30% more overall damage than this Lifestealer in team fights.
No, I was going to say, he must have done a huge amount. Absolutely. And it certainly feels a lot more than S4, because S4, he's been suffering a little bit on the left track this game.
Yeah,
they were able to punish him earlier, and it's kind of, that sentiment's transitioned on. He's doing his best to hold on. He's now been able to find a fair bit of farm, 3k gold in the bank, as he moves towards his next item. And there we have it now, picked up the Shiva's Guard done. But it's, certainly been a harder start for S4.
And one of the, I guess, reasons why we didn't see as much less track following the nerfs is the hero doesn't dominate the early to mid game as much, and you get to these late game stages, everyone's going to have BKBs, and dishing out damage in a team fight isn't really possible for S4 unless his team can outlast the BKBs. But VG.R, every time they're committing a BKB, they're getting a couple of kills. They're using the Bat Rider to grab someone with a lasso. The Queen of Pain commits hard with a BKB into the Sonic Wave Scream. Now we're going to have double BKB on Queen of Pain. So there's a lot of guarantees on VG.R's side to find kills anytime they commit this, and that's despite Alliance having such great defensive heroes.
Alliance, once again, just as a 5-man here, up towards the top. We're going to see VG.R actually head up there as well. We'll see if they do head back into their own jungle, as we could be close to seeing another bit of a scrap. Alliance, how confident are they going to feel about putting some pressure onto this tower? We can see S4 at the moment revealing himself as he comes forth.
Yeah, they'd like to force VG.R to react to this rather than stay active. And VG.R ideally want to be active on the map, pushing out the lanes. They want to be in the enemy jungle, but this will force them back. And you can't just come back and defend with one hero. That's where Alliance will have a 5-man squad ready, and they'll just immediately initiate on you. So a creep wave reaching your tier 3 means your entire team effectively has to retreat and come back. But Alliance pushing high ground into a potential lasso initiation is just not really on the cards for them.
We're going to see, of course, just keeping tabs on the Roche respawn, and 1 more minute and it will be pretty much back there. So that could be the next time that we see things really kick off for both sides. Spider Right's trying to deal with this illusion to make sure it's unlikely that VG.R themselves get vision of the Roche being coming back onto the map. But VG.R, they're smoked up. They're heading straight down mid. They might find something as well. Eyes onto Loader. Jumps in immediately. Yang grabs him, brings him back. N starting to get the damage out onto this central. Can they kill him before he gets off the Stampede? No, Loader is going to survive. Gets off the Stampede and the Crimson Guard. Now they're trying to jump back in. Ake gets the Static Storm off. They're trying to bring down N. Can they get the lifestealer? They will. They've already lost Loader, but the Sonic Wave flying through for Nono. It's going to be a 2-4 at the moment. Bulldog pops the elder BKB, turns around, chopping up the quad, but Nono gets the blink out. Tricks of the trade from FY at the moment. It's not going to be enough damage to kill these. There's 2 gems on the deck at the moment. EGM, he's picking up both of them, and he's picking up the kills onto FY. Alliance, they're just about doing it. They've found 3. S4 chasing down DDC as well. The poison comes through, the lightning onto the head, and DDC is DD dead. S4 with a double kill. Alliance 4 for 2. They'll claim themselves both of the gems back into their own half, and Roshan has just respawned. It couldn't have got any better for them there, gods.
Oh, that was such a tense fight. VG.R had a very clear plan going in. Initiate on the Centaur and find the Shadow Demon. Ricky gets past the Centaur, gets the smoke onto the Shadow Demon, so there was no disruption available. If they kill Centaur before that Stampede, it's a team fight loss for Alliance, but Loader manages to stay alive just long enough. Even though he ultimately dies, he gets the Stampede, he buys time, forces VG.R to overcommit, and as soon as you're overcommitting into a Leshrac, who's going to dish out a ton of damage, you're in trouble, because those BKBs are not lasting as long as they once did, and the Lifestealer, as soon as that Raid wore off, got completely shredded. Bulldog on the brood.
I mean, understandable with the items that he's got, but we really saw there just the amount of right-click that Bulldog can dish out.
In a fight like that, you really see how the Lifestealer struggles to fight outside of Rage Form, and even in Rage Form, he struggles to fight because of the kiting tools. So he's very dependent on that vehicle, which was the Bat Rider. His job that fight was to blow up the Centaur with the Bat at the start of the fight, and they just couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, it was really just one more touch and it would have happened. But the timing there for Alliance worked out perfectly in their favor. We see just now Nono picking up another gem for the side. You know, gem, absolutely essential for VG.R to have, and they did, of course, lose theirs in their last fight.
And the problem for VG.R is they can't, when they catch Loader there, they can't commit all 5 heroes on him. They have to have, at least bare minimum, the Ricky on the backlines, throwing the silence out. He's the one who has to stop the Shadow Demon disruption. If they commit 5 heroes, it's an easy disruption save into Stampede. So that's a terrible way for VG.R to take the fight, but it's much easier for Alliance to execute their team fight than VG.R's at this stage of the game.
That's for Bulldog. Incompetent about coming forth here on the mid lane as well. Oh, I'm going to see this rune being taken. They know that FY's about, immediately blinking away. S4 trying to get the vision with the Shiva's Guard moving forward, but he himself not the one to carry the gem.
He kind of pings and knows where FY is, but without the detection, that's not likely to happen. You don't want to commit a Stampede offensively to go for kills at this stage of your Alliance. You need to use it, ideally, during the brunt of like the Lifesteal and the Queen of Pain damage output.
An Abyssal Blade now done on Bulldog. We saw how much he was able to get done last fight. Next fight is going to be even greater. Something else as well, just to deal with controlling N during the Rage. That's an absolute huge pickup here for the man. And as you said, the fights are going to get harder for VG.R.
We're almost back to dead even in terms of overall net worth. It was once almost a 10k gold lead. Alliance took them one fight to turn that one around. And they're the ones holding on to the Aegis now as well. They do have to worry a little bit scaling into the late game. Leshrac, though, will get more powerful as these BKBs get shorter and shorter. It is already 5 seconds on Queen of Pain. Bat Rider down to 7. And Lifesteal, well, his rage always going to be that 6-second duration. Unlikely to see him pick up a BKB.
Illusion.
But heroes like Centaur, unlikely to get that much stronger with any item pickup. Similar story with the Brood, who is close to kind of capped out. Could see something like a Daedalus maybe as his last item, just for some single target damage output. Or a Butterfly even, but...
Yeah, I guess eventually as well, yes. If one of the supports is able to pick up the Vlads, then he can swap that out for something else.
It's not really the ideal item to have on what is your main single target physical damage.
I mean, yeah, Bulldog is just doing it, he's doing a lot of carrying in terms of the physical DPS element of Alliance at the moment. And now Alliance, see how confident they feel about moving up to the high ground. Earlier we saw them just be a little bit tentative about this. They're very careful about jumping in because they know that one mispositioning and suddenly VG.R, they'll punish you for
actually the Centaur slow siege. Well, the Shadow Demon Centaur. So these illusions don't do a lot of damage. The return is what's doing damage.
Yeah, look at this.
Return action. Centaur with return.
Just sit back, rinse and repeat.
So the illusions themselves have no right-click damage, but yeah, this is brutal. It's just keep sending these on the tower and.
Here we go. Easy push.
We've seen some fun, cheesy strats over lines from time to time, and this is something.
This
great.
is Manila Major Alliance.
Yep.
Let's do it.
They pull out the
again.
Nagas, they pull out the Rat Dota every now and
There
then.
we
This
go.
is-
VG.R like, guys, what are we going to do about this?
Yep.
I mean,
Tower's dead. Tower actually just died. Just Shadow Demon gets the kill.
easiest tower of EGM's life there.
Yep.
Easiest tier 3 for EGM.
Problem is, Barracks don't attack.
That's true.
That's a nerf to Alliance's strat. If Barracks had
Ice
attack
Frog,
damage,
please buff Rax to help Alliance's strat here.
Yep. You need to give Rex's even just like 1 damage attack.
Right, here we have jumping in. We talked about the mispositioning, getting punished. S4 will be caught out, dragged deep behind the base, but at the same time, Nono tries to initiate with the bash. Coming out from Bulldog. Eventually, the blink out is there in time. Nono will escape. Then trying to chase down S4 with the BKB, just able to keep himself alive here. S4 will survive. No one to die at the moment. S4. Go back in, but F5 will jump forward. S4. Ooh, the long-range coconut's not going to be enough to catch him out. The static storm will get to. Not going to be enough to kill. FY jumping in will be able to remove the Aegis, but maybe punished for this one. Loader and Bulldog chasing him down. The double edge coming in from the side of the smoke screen will burst down the Ricky, and now Alliance moving in again onto this top tier 3. No Ricky for a full minute on the side of VG.R. You can see, and back inside Yang on the live stealer. Let's see, we get the jump in there. We have it. No. With the refreshers, trying to go for the control, but already the stone's laid down. Bulldog in the middle of it all, looking to focus down in. Now turns towards the Bat Rider. Solo with the 600 wave, he'll catch EGM on the clip of it. At the same time, S4, look how deep this man's going onto Yang, onto DDC. S4 takes them both down. Bulldog looking to man up against the life stealer. Who's the carry now, boy? 4 down on VG.R, none with buyback available, and there's going to be a 5th death as well as Loader ends up chasing down Nono. Alliance, they've found the exposed racks up top. There's going to be a hard coming out onto Loader as well. Nono will buy back along with End, but they've already lost the top set of racks. VG.R and Alliance, they are certainly doing it here, and I mean, in quite some style as well. What a game this has been so far. 21-21, 52 minutes in, but Alliance, they are certainly starting to swing ahead.
Yeah, I think what that fight really shows is just how hard it is for VG.R to execute their team fight. They have the farm they need. They have all the items. They have a decent hero composition, but splitting up, like, so you focus fire correctly, you want to silence the Shadow Demon, you want to try and burst down one target, but a disruption means the Centaur doesn't get hit by the Sonic Wave. Queen of Pain tries to blink in, get aggressive, and refresh, and then BKB, but gets stunned before she BKBs. There's so many small things that have to go right in a team fight for VG.R, and for Alliance, it's very much just sit back, use our defensive spells correctly, and we're not going to actually die to VG.R.
And the thing that we talked about, the issue that the racks didn't attack, well, now the fact that Loader's got a heart, these illusions, they have a fair bit of strength, so they actually do a little bit of right click now this time. They're actually able to seize these racks on their own.
And that's more return damage as well, so trying to fight into these illusions is not going to be
Good
easy.
luck killing Loader.
Yeah, he's just going to keep sending those illusions forward. May even just get the range tracks off of this.
It is. I don't think they stop this one. Let's see. Cast might do the job. No, look at this micro from EGM. Oh, let's keep him one away. It's not going to be enough, but yeah, we can really just see that this range rack's not left long for this man in a live.
Yeah, there we got the bigger prize in the top lane. Queen of Pain's going to go for a Shiver's Guard next.
He's got a lot of money. No. He has got a lot of dollar.
He's going to buy it too, since there's no need for... He has buybacks on cooldown, but...
I mean, really, I think in the sense as well, you know, we're talking about now, it's kind of impressive that he's being forced back into this position alongside his team, but he's still managing to keep parallel with the farm of Bulldog and S4.
He didn't play the last fight the best, but even so, like, he's had such a good game all throughout. It's just been so hard. You get so frustrated playing against this Alliance draft. You get impatient, you try and make a jump, and eventually you make a mistake in Alliance, they punish you.
Yeah, let's see what kind of opening he can find. He's looking to jump in. Shiva's coming out. Will make a move forward, but immediately the bash, the control from Bulldog Yang. He gets up the lasso, controlling Loader. Sonic Wave 1 coming through, but look, they just don't care. The damage is not enough to burst through these tanky heroes of Alliance. And now Alliance, they're turning on to VG.R. They've found the Witch Doctor. They're looking for End. End already falling low. The Rage now one up. He needs to get himself out of here. Yang caught in the midst of it all. The Bat Rider's going to fall. A double kill for S4. No blinks out to the south. There'll be a buyback straight away from Yang on the Bat Rider, trying to get back in. FY will take down Ake, but Alliance, they're peed off. S4 says, you don't kill my Ake, and he kills him back. Triple kill for the Leshrac. And now VG.R once again in a position with 2 heroes down. They're going to move forward, Alliance. They're going to look to put some pressure onto these racks. There's a buyback available from FY if he wants to use it. But at this point, they may just have to let the middle rack show. No, They're not going down without a fight. VG.R buying back immediately. They want to go for this one. Yang, he's going to get caught out immediately by the Yawn. Hex from, no, onto S4 with the defensive disruption. EGM, he's there with the save. S4, can he get himself out? He is. He's going to be able to live. Turns around with the lightning onto Yang, the stun onto the bear on Yang. Falling low, can he get himself back to base? He will get the BKB out in time. S4 trying to finish off S4, but the stampede there. The damage reduction saving the Leshrac. 2 dead on VG.R. 2 heroes without buyback. Bulldog moving in with the bashes onto End. End will turn, try to fight, but Loda's there. He's got the backup of Bulldog. End has to run himself back to base, but Loda, he's not going to allow it. Jumps forward, gets the Who Stomp out. Yeah, and GM's there as well to help Loda out, just in case VG.R try and go back into him. But forcing VG.R back into the base. Bulldog now heads towards the tier 4s and Alliance. At this point, they may have just done it here in game 1 against VG.R, and indeed they have. GG is called. What a game.
VG.R throw everything. Sonic Wave after Sonic Wave, Lasso after Lasso, getting Infest Bombs. Infest Bombs, they killed 1 Disruptor. In that entire, like, 90-second fight, all they killed was 1 Disruptor. Leshrac survives on, like, low HP, but even if they killed Leshrac there...
Look at that. He's killing me, goddammit, boys. But it doesn't matter. You won, AK.
And EGM just had a great time. When you get to play a Shadow Demon, when there's like a Centaur or someone, like you get a good disruption tag, like a Centaur, a Spectre, something you can send those illusions in. Oh man, it's brutal.
Oh, what a game. 56 minutes.